Hey folks, welcome back to the University of Barbecue. My name is Lawrence Johnson, and today we're going to be brining a turkey breast. Not going to cook the turkey breast today, just going to brine it, let it brine overnight, and then I'll cook it tomorrow. So I picked up this 4 pound turkey breast from HEB. It's completely boneless. They've already deboned it. There's skin on it, but the skin's probably going to come off after I do the brine process. I like to leave it on there because sometimes I cook the skin as well. And so I'll show you what I use for a brine, and then I'll also append or add on the part where I actually cook the turkey breast tomorrow. So you'll see probably a change of outfit tomorrow included in that. The brine includes just very simple things. You can buy pre-made brine mix, and it has all kinds of cool stuff in it. My brines are really simple. I use about a gallon of water, half a cup of kosher salt, and then I also use about a cup of vinegar. And so I mix that up. Most of the time I add the salt and the vinegar first, and then I stir that up a little bit, and then I add in the water. But this time, just because we're on video, I'm going to add it all. It probably won't all dissolve, but that's okay as well. It doesn't need to be super salty. These things come pre-brined in a way. It's about a 5% solution in here. That works as well. So let's get into how I'm going to go about brining this turkey breast. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and mix up my brine solution. Here I've got a cup of white vinegar. You can use apple cider vinegar. If you want to go crazy, you can use some red wine vinegar. It's really up to you. So I'm going to add this in now, and then I'm going to add in that half a cup of salt, slowly, not all at once, just a little bit. I'm going to stir that just to kind of whisk that in to get that going. And after I let this sit for a minute, some of that's going to dissolve, and so we'll probably unpackage this turkey and then come back to this part and stir it one more time just to make sure that it's whisking in pretty nicely. So adding in the rest of that half cup of kosher salt. Again, use kosher salt, because if you use just a regular table salt, it'll be way too salty. You really need to cut back. So if you're going to do this, make sure you use kosher salt, and make sure that you taste your brine. I know what this tastes like because I do it all the time. This is the solidity that I like. Mix it up to what you like. You may want more salt, you may want less salt, but this works for me. All right, so I'm going to let this sit for a moment, and we're going to go ahead and get this turkey going. All right, now we're ready to open the turkey, and packaging on this is not as clean as I would have liked, but it's fine. We'll make it work. The primary thing is we're going to get all this nasty juice off of it, and then I don't want to add all that to my brine. So I'm going to take a look at it. Most of the time I don't do a lot of trimming of the turkey breast. Take a look and see what it looks like. My primary objective here is to pat off all those weird looking juices that come off this thing. And let's see, this is what they look like on the bottom. They almost look like they're torn up. Well, when you fillet that turkey breast off that breastbone, this is just how it ends up looking. And so it's fine, don't worry about it. This is what they look like in the restaurants. It's not gonna be perfect. When you cook it, it's gonna draw up in there quite a bit. So I'm gonna flip this back over, and it's a really good sized turkey breast. And I really don't see anything that I want to do here. So I'm gonna drop this in here, and I'll probably add in a couple cups of ice, put it in the fridge overnight, and we'll be ready to go. All right, folks. So we're making some homemade mayo. The purpose of this mayo is to coat meat. You can use it on brisket, you can use it on ribs, you can use it on turkey. I primarily use this on turkey, and so when I'm smoking a turkey, I'll slather it on and then put a small amount of pepper on there. Actually, probably a pretty good amount of pepper on there, maybe some herbs and some other things. And that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to use this on some smoked turkey, but it's a great recipe for other things. This isn't really anything that I slather on bread for like sandwiches or anything like that. You could do that, but it has a bunch of extra stuff in it that may not taste as good. It might be fine. I've never tried it. I probably actually do need to try it, but it is something that you could, look into using. If you want to just use a regular mayo, I would say take out a few of the ingredients. Right here, I have some Dijon mustard, a large egg. I have about a half tablespoon of kosher salt, a half tablespoon of Italian blend herbs. I also have some lemon juice here, and then there's some garlic cloves, and then just something to mix everything up in. If you want to make just regular old mayo, probably some minced garlic, just a small amount, not the herbs, leave the herbs out, and then everything else would go in there. All right, so let's get started with this. I'm going to start chopping up my garlic because I don't want to put it in there this thick and then try to use the immersion blender on it. So I'm going to chop that up a bit, throw that in there, and then I'll start adding all my other ingredients. And then I'm going to use immersion blender to mix this up. All right, so let's go ahead and get this started here. Right here, I have kosher salt, some Italian herb blend. Going to toss that in. And then I'm going to put in, oh, don't lose that. Going to put in about a tablespoon of this Dijon mustard. That's a little runny. You shake it up. It's always awesome when you have a hot dog. You open up mustard and you get all the water out. So about a tablespoon of that. And then, there we go. Tablespoon of the lemon juice. All kind of cool stuff happening today. Between the mustard and that top popping off, I'm out here winning. All right, got that in. And now we're going to crack that egg in there. And hopefully I don't get any yolk. Hopefully I don't get any eggshell in there. I want the yolk in there. All right. So I'm going to pull out the immersion blender, and we're going to get started with that as well. Can't forget the most important part. That's the olive oil. All right. So the garlic should be cut up pretty good in there. And let's see what happens. So you can see really good consistency on that. Really happy with the way this looks. I'm going to slather this all over that turkey. All right, so I've got my turkey here. This is a 5-pound turkey that I brined overnight. All the ingredients from the mayo that I'm using to the little bit of pepper that I'm putting on here with some extra stuff in it, as well as the brine. All that stuff is going to be down in the description. Originally, I had a video showing how I did the brine and all of that. And after I did that video, while I was doing the video, I realized that that turkey smelled funny. And so dropped in the brine, and then I checked out the packaging. Wasn't expired, had a couple more weeks to go, but I just didn't trust it. So I ran out to HEB again last night to grab another turkey because I had another one, but it was frozen. So I went out, grabbed another turkey breast. So this one came from HEB as well. It's the honeysuckle brand. It's not HEB's brand. I misspoke on the video. I don't know if I edited it out or not, but the brine that comes in the packaging is not 5%, it's 18%. It has stuff like lemon juice in it and all kinds of other stuff, some turkey stock in it and that type of thing. So just always check your meat because it smelled weird. And I said, well, maybe it's that brine. I said, let me go get one to compare it. Compared it and said, no, this one was probably one that just went bad early. This is a fresh one. It's good to go because I'm not into cooking and eating spoiled meat. So this one's good to go. And so I'm going to take this skin off. Then I'll slather on that mayo and then we'll get that rub on there. I have the smoker going behind me at about 275 degrees. I'm going to cook this between 250, 275 today. And so let's get going. So this should be good. So let's go ahead and get that mayo on there. I'm just going to shake some of that out if I can. That way I don't contaminate it. I have some more in the house that I kept held back. So if I do contaminate that, it's fine. I have more. And I don't want so much on here that the rub just kind of slides off because this is kind of like butter in a way, primarily oil based. And so the mayo gets hot, it will start to move on you. Now your bottom is not your presentation side. And so I do put a little bit more on this side. And as I mentioned, this mixture here is primarily just pepper, some herbs, and then just a little bit of kosher salt. Just not much. This was brined, and there's salt inside the mayo mixture, so we don't want a lot of that. Make sure that was really shaken up. So I'm going to start applying that here. We're going to cover this really well. like it very peppery. If you don't like yours super peppery, don't put this much on there. I'm gonna flip that over. Some wind. Get the sides in there. A little pepper in every bite. All right, and I think I'm gonna go this way just a little bit, make sure fully covered in every direction, but I think we are good to go. And so I'm gonna pop this on the smoker. It's going at 275. It's gonna take around 2 hours for this to cook. It's a 5-pounder. Might take a little longer, might take a little less. We're gonna take this to about 155, 160 degrees. Then we're gonna let it rest before we slice into it. All right? Right, so I have this just about in the middle, actually more towards the stack on my 60-gallon, 275 degrees going right now. And so I'm gonna leave this in here, not putting a probe in it. I'll come back with the thermopin and check it out as we go. So I'll check this out in about an hour. But I am going to keep my eye on the temperature using my fireboard thermometer. All right, so let's see where things are right now. I'm going to stick a probe in here. Hopefully we're around 155, 160. This is about the thickest part. Or 158 right there, that's good. 163 there, thinner part there. So those parts are going to be a little higher, but a really thick piece, we got it to where it needs to be. So we are ready to wrap this. All right, so our turkey breast is done. We're gonna wrap it. We're not putting it back on the smoker. We're wrapping it to let it rest. I have a warmer in the house that I'm gonna let it sit in for probably about 30 minutes at around 150, 160 degrees, just to let it absorb some of this clarified butter that I have right here. And so I took some sweet cream butter, melted it down. I used some cheesecloth to strain out the milk fat that's in there. I got most of it out. Just gonna drizzle some of that on there, wrap this up, and then it's gonna go in that warmer, 30 minutes to an hour. Actually, I'll probably do it right at around 150 degrees. So let's get that on there. All right, so that's it. So I'm gonna wrap this up. We're going to let it rest, and then I'll come back out and cut it after a short rest. All right, the moment we've been waiting for. So it's time to cut into this. So let's do it. I don't remember where exactly the grain pattern was running, so we will start somewhere over here. That's beautiful. Take a look at that. That is a beautiful turkey. All right, enough looking at it. Let's taste it. Well, actually, let's pull it apart. See how well it pulls apart. Oh, super tender. Pulling apart really easy. Oh, this is good. Take a look at this slice here. I mean, you can't beat that. That's beautiful. You have a nice smoke ring on that. That's amazing. Not to toot my own horn, but I really feel like I outdid myself with this one. I mean, it's just plain. Oh, this is awesome. Take a look at that. Beautiful turkey there, still dripping. So this is great. We're gonna really enjoy this. We cooked some amazing turkey today. It's really good, super peppery, just like I like it. Really great crust on it, super juicy. The family's gonna love this. I mean, that brine really worked out. It's not too salty. It's just the right amount of saltiness. Very savory. I wish I had a slicer so that I could cut this up into some deli meat, but we're really gonna enjoy this. I'm looking forward to making some sandwiches with this. My wife actually did taste that mayo, and she said she wants to use that for some sandwiches. But this is, I mean, this is awesome. This is like what you get in a deli, and so I'm so happy with this. We're gonna have a great week eating this. I mean, this turkey just turned out great. I mean, this is honestly probably one of the best ones I've made. I do this all the time. I'm happy with this. I couldn't do a better one. I wish that you all could taste it. I wish my mom was here so she could taste it because she loves this turkey breast. My dad loves it as well. My brother-in-law loves it. And so I'll have to make sure that I grab a couple of these next time I go back home to Mississippi for a holiday and take them with me, because this was great. I mean, turkey breast to me is undefeated in terms of a barbecue dish, something that you can put together that most people will enjoy. Most people think turkey breast is dry. If you do it right, if you watch your temperatures, if you're consistent, you can have a really great meal in your hand. And I think that that's what we have. I'm going to let it sit in some more of that clarified butter because that just helps it out. Does it take away from the health content? Yeah, but it's really good. So I'm going to do that, but I do appreciate you all. So thank you all for tuning in again. I really appreciate you all being here with me to cook some turkey. Barbecue or mildew, get outside, cook something with the people that you love the most, share a meal, have a good time. There's a lot of pollen around here, but it's still some beautiful spring days ahead. So until next time, I'll see you.